Sables.
Hey.
And he will speak more about who he is and what he does. And we are looking forward to working with Wayne on a joint project that we're currently applying for some money for.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And interestingly, Wayne's sidekick, Oliver, came as an interview for your job when you got the job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. He was the other viable candidate. It wasn't as good as Matt, but he's the other viable candidate.
Oh, really? He's now at Sheffield Theatres.
Is he?
Yeah, he's now at Sheffield Theatres
But he was on that interview when we appointed Matt.
having his second baby. Not him personally.
Remarkable performance.
Listen,
He's danced.
anything's possible these days, isn't it? Clearly. Alright. So I've been thinking about this and I've been sending quite worrying emails to Matt about it. And I was thinking, well, what do I want to talk about? Because I don't know what's interesting really. And you know, when you're from an area and you work in an area, you kind of go, well, I don't know if I've got anything more to add than anybody else, really. And I almost feel a little bit of a fraud talking about stuff. And I gave a keynote last week, suited and booted, and I thought that'd be good preparation for this. It's not. I felt like a fraud then, and I still feel a bit like a fraud now. So what I thought I'd do is we'll talk a bit, we'll look at some stuff, we'll talk a bit more, and then we'll talk between ourselves a bit. Because I'm not interested enough to sustain an hour. One. I'd rather not sit and let you just watch my playlist on YouTube for an hour, because you could do that when you want. And actually, I think what's really interesting is the sum of the people in the room. I think is really interesting. And then I thought, well, what's the narrative that I wanted to talk to today? And I thought, well, I'm going to talk to you the way my mind works, so it's going to jump around a bit, because my mind jumps around all over the place. Well, firstly, I kind of became an artist by accident, really, like a lot of us. I'm from Doncaster, which, as we all know, is where The Hobbit is filmed. It is Middle Earth.
Is it really?
No, it's New Zealand.
I was going to say. It's been a long day.
We started off well, so
Nobody
that's
can be
good.
quite tough.
It's not the most
I was
diverse,
so gullible then, wasn't it?
artistically champion in town. Although it is getting better, because they have a £22 million building that is too big to fail, so they have to invest in it. And it does seem to be doing well and making money. I couldn't possibly comment on this thing here, but it would be in keeping with Doncaster if it did. So I originally trained as a car mechanic, and I wanted to be a stuntman secretly. I worked for my dad's company, and I was always dicking about jumping around and trying to do stuff. So he did the best thing he could ever do for me, and he fired me. And he told me, don't come back till you've got this out of your system. So I went to college on the performing arts course with the intention of being a stuntman. I started martial arts because you need 2 skills. And I thought, well, every stuntman needs to learn how to fight and fall. And I thought, well, what's the best way to learn how to fall is to do dance. So I took a minor in dance, a major in theatre. And then I somehow got tricked into going to London for an audition that I didn't realise was an audition. And I got offered a full scholarship to go to Laban, which is a conservatoire that used to be in Newcross Gate, but is now in Greenwich Village. And I did this is before Billy Elliot, just to throw that in there. And I did what any reasonable person from South Yorkshire should do when they're posed with an opportunity to go to university and not pay for it. I panicked and turned it down. No, leave South Yorkshire, no! And then I went to Bretton Hall for a summer school, and I stayed there for 3 years, and they were foolish enough to give me a degree in contemporary dance. And it was a little bit easier for men back then. There weren't that many of us jumping around. There were even less jumping around in the industry at that point. And then I came straight out of there with a head full of ambitions, because I was the first person in my family to have a degree in the history of my family, and I chose the really, really viable career option of contemporary dance performance. So you can imagine how proud my parents were. And then to back that up, I told my dad I was doing theatre for 3 years. forgetting that my mum washed my jock straps and whatnot, because back then you had to wear tights and things. Matt, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so they kind of already knew it. And then my dad, on my I came out as a dancer on my 21st birthday. How very rock and roll, in the local working men's club. So if you're going to do everything wrong.
In Doncaster.
In Doncaster, in a small mining town, small mining village in Doncaster. So I kind of got on stage, my surprise 21st. Dad, I need to tell you something. Can only imagine what he was thinking. I'm a dancer. Thank you. We have a very open relationship. And he just went, yeah, I know. You live at home. You know. And then I went to a place called Doncaster Arts, and I worked there in the community for a little bit, and quickly realised that I kind of expanded my horizons a little bit, and then I'd gone straight back into my routine in Doncaster. So I saved up, I bought a plane ticket, and I moved to America for a year with no plan whatsoever. Got on a plane, told my parents when I was there, I don't know when I'm coming back, I'm in America. And I stayed for just short of a year, and I bummed around for a bit, I jumped around for a bit. I did kind of the crazy stuff that isn't so crazy now, like all night contemporary dance jams and performances at 3 AM and taking over lofts, which now we do all the time, but 15 years ago we didn't do so much. And then on New Year's Eve 2003, got really, really homesick, came home, got hit around the head by my mum for disappearing, and then kind of just went performing, just kind of auditioned for companies, did the traditional thing, went performing, travelled kind of mostly over America, spent about 4 years in hotels, on trains, in economy class on planes, being in these really amazing places but not seeing them. And so I performed all over kind of America, and I can tell you where I've been, but I can't tell you anything about the places apart from the theatres that we went to. And it was literally, you kind of get off the plane, you get on your bus, you go to your hotel, the next day you were into the theatre, you do your show, then you'd go. It was the most anticlimactic experience I've ever had in my life. But also, it's the most glamorous thing you can say, oh, I just went to America. Yeah, from Doncaster. Yeah, it's alright, it's a job. And truth be told, I hated every minute of it. Hated it. I'd kind of done that thing of, I dared to have some ambition. I was fulfilling it, and I went, hang on a minute, this is not what I thought it was. Where's the fame? Where's the money? Where's the TV deal?
Where's the stunt man?
That dream did, well, do you know, I lost it. I still have that hope. I suspect at some point Clint Eastwood is going to need a body double. So I'm training hard for it, getting the crow's feet and doing that. So I had an early career crisis. I don't know if you guys have had those yet. I have them about every 6 months now. They're quite regular. But I had an early career crisis, and I'm jacking it in. I'm not doing any of this. And then I didn't jack it in, I kept doing it. And then I got injured, so I was forced to jack it in and reassess. And I went to the pivotal point in my career where I knew I wanted to still be an artist, but not necessarily a dancer. Was I went to the doctors with a torn anterior cruciate, and the doctor went, let's get another job. Go do something else. I thought, oh, well I could do, but I've just spent 7 years trying to be really good at this. And although I don't want to jump around on stage anymore, I don't want to leave. So I applied for some Arts Council funding to make some work in my first show ever, which was going to be a film and then a live show. And it was a film that was at Tinsley Towers, which are obviously now gone. And as soon as the funding came through, I spent all the money on a plane ticket to Canada. So I did it for free, basically. And I went to Canada and I spent 3 months in Toronto, because I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I need to be really good again. So I danced with the National Ballet of Canada, and I again quite naively went, well, I've trained in ballet. How hard is this? So I went to their open class because I want people to go, it's really good. You need to be in the advanced class. Yeah, I was the bottom of the class in the open class. Like, it's a different league. So I kind of did that whole, oh shit, somebody's paying me to do something. I've spent the money on a plane ticket to go to Canada, to train, to come back to make this amazing piece, get fame, recognition, TV deals, all that, and I can't even do an open class. I'm screwed. But what it taught me is that my body doesn't work that way. So I came back, I made this film, and I suddenly realised that I'm much more interested in making work than being in work. And I'm much more interested in film than I was in live work. So I retrained as a filmmaker with the sole intention of making art. And then I bought a house. And I realised that, hang on a minute, how's that going to pay for that? Okay, so I went, well, it's alright, I'll make art, but I'll do a bit of this, because that pays me money. I'll do a bit of teaching. I will make a film for that company over there, because they want to give me 500 quid. And I only get that a week, and this is for 2 days, so I'll do that, and that'll pay me bills, and then I'll make art. And then I'd like to stand here, and I'd like to say, strategically, I developed this organisation from all this learning that I'd done. And financially, we kind of connected all the dots. We realised where the pockets were, where the gaps were, and we've built this really solid organisation. That's what I'd like to say. And the last bit's true. You know, we have built a really interesting business model, and I use that term business specifically for a reason. But it was almost kind of by accident, really. It was kind of, I was peddling that wheel, that need to survive, that need to kind of make money, that need to, and I think secretly that need to justify the decision I'd made. Because what I've not said is when I decided that I wanted to have a degree in contemporary dance, I turned down a place at law school. It's another interesting argument with my parents. And so so at this point I'm 27. My friends that have got proper jobs are doing all these great things, and I'm still being fake. I'm still trying to convince people that I'm worth investing in. I'm doing this thing that we're calling a company, which is really just a group of people together want to work together. And I'm following a very traditional arts company pathway, because I feel that's what you need to do. Because if anybody's going to take you seriously, you've got to be seen as a business. You've got to be a business. You've got to have an office. You've got to have overheads. You've got to have staff, because you're not real if you don't have any of that. And it's BS if I'm honest, as I find out the older I get. But that's what I thought I had to do. So I spent a lot of energy doing that, and then doing this little bit every 6 weeks every year, doing this bit, doing this company. And then what I ended up doing is being slightly opportunistic in a sense. So people would go to me, can you come and teach this workshop over here? I go, yeah, I'll teach you. So I ended up teaching a group of kids on a 6-week programme. Can you make this film for this company over here? Yeah, I'll go over there, I'll make a film and I'll fit it in with that. Oh, can you collaborate on this project over here? And I go, yeah, I'll come and do that. And then you just end up doing this all the time. And actually, I thought, well, I'm just chasing the next bit of money. And I felt like that for a while. And then I suddenly realised that actually, all that comes from this part-time job. Because it's all that stuff that we don't acknowledge, or all those kind of transferable skills or intangible skills that I think as artists, and I know me specifically, I was a little bit nervous about saying, well, no, I do strategically develop projects actually. Because working with Arts Council is bloody strategic. Afternoon. How are we doing?
Thank you.
Good. Is it cold enough?
Sorry, I'm a bit late.
So all that strategic stuff, because you have to be quite strategic when you're talking to the Arts Council. And I've learned that over 16 years. I've had 2 bids rejected. I'm putting one in 4 weeks. I'm touching one, which I think is good odds. It's pretty good odds. I've had quite a fractious relationship over the years with them. I've been quite vocal about them at times. Not always for the positive, if I'm honest. So all that kind of stuff I'd taken here, and I've just actually last year just gone through a review process that the Arts Council kind of asked me to do. When I turned down, they asked me to go for an MPO, and I said no, I don't want to. It's not right for me, because actually I had to acknowledge that I don't. It's all smoke and mirrors in a sense. So this company, it's not really a company. It's a group of people that want to work together, and we get together and we make stuff happen, and we do projects and we do fundings and we make films, and then once that's done we go away and we do our little bits, and then suddenly I've got an idea and we come back together and we make something else and we brand it under an umbrella, and then we go away. And I'm sure that sounds really familiar to all of you, really. But so the way we look at WSP is not that it's a company anymore, but it's almost a brand in itself. And we've been really fortunate and really lucky that we were able to do lots and lots of things and then bring all that together in a package. And then, in a bizarre twist of fate, all of this suddenly clicked with all of this stuff with the Arts Council. So we were then able to go back and go, well, we have a track record of delivering £200,000 projects. We have a track record of engaging difficult young people. Yes, we know how to engage people digitally because we've been doing that over here. So all of that stuff that I thought would help this kind of became the reverse, and it helped this. And again, with a bizarre twist of fate, because we invested in technology quite early, we inadvertently ended up ticking one of their boxes, their digital strategy. So I've just consulted with them about how they can be not shit at being digital, truth be told. And what kind of happened is those two came together, and then they changed the entire ethos of the way I want to work. So now the stuff that we make it combines all of them. So it has an engagement element, it has digital, so we digitally interact not only with our audience at the point of the end bit, but throughout the process. Because I learned really early on that if somebody invests in it, they're more likely to follow it and track it and attend it. We learn over time. We've learned that actually, kind of live work doesn't really mean being in the same room nowadays. So I've just and also I got really sick of being in theatres all the time, and it felt a little bit fickle, really. Turning up, getting a van, hiring a storage space, having these really massive sets, getting there, taking them out, setting them up, putting on a play for a night or a show, putting them down, putting them in the van, driving them to Harrogate, doing it all again. And it just became really tiring. And so I've just developed a program called Intense Attachment, and we're just at the end of the first block. It's a 9-year piece of work. I would say it's probably action research if you wanted to use an Arts Council terminology. And what it does, and I want to show you a couple of clips of it actually, because the model that we've developed for this was that the show gets remade in every venue we go in. So we remake it to fit that venue. So we don't know our performance space until we get there. So we turn up on Monday morning and we go, right, what you got? Well, we've got the main house. Oh, we don't want that. We don't want the stage. What else you got? Well, all we've got is backstage. Perfect, we'll have that. And we do that. Being a filmmaker is great because it means that I can make all our own films. In terms of, I'll just quickly jump back because I said my mind jumps all over. In terms of funding, we have a circular funding stream. So we have part commercial element arm where we earn money, where businesses buy our film services in, and we charge them. Then everything that makes goes back into our community voluntary part of our company, which is great because actually what it means is when we go for funding, we can go, well, we can match that with this amount of money. So we actually have cash we can put into it. So we're non-profit in that respect. which also means we can draw down funding from different pots. It also means that we can give opportunities to people that might not be as easy to access without funding. And it also means we can be really responsive. It means we can work with anyone we want to work with, and we can work wherever we want to work. And it means that if something's really interesting, or there's a company that's really interested, we can go to them and go, we just want to work together because we really love what you're doing and we think it'd be really good. And then I've got a team of people that are all freelancers that I work with, that all have, it's a bit like the A-team of the arts really, without a van and a BA Baracus, in the sense that like everybody has like a different skill set. So I work with a woman who's a project manager. Now, project manager is not my strong suit. It's a good tune. That should be our theme tune.
It's got to be Richard.
So, and I think that's one of the lessons I've learned is you can't be everything to everybody. You can't. I mean, well, some people can, but I can't write the theme tune, sing the theme tune, play the theme tune. I can't do it. I have this thing that I've recently discovered called a life, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I have 2 kids. I have a house. I have a garden. I have a dog. It's really normal, and it's brilliant. Because no matter how rubbish my day is, or no matter how anxious I am, because that commission, we've got it in on the deadline. It's 10 to 12. It's gone. Internet's not failed. It's gone. Oh, we didn't get it. I spent 4 weeks on that. Oh, what am I going to do now? I go home and I go, do you know what? I can wait till tomorrow. My kids need feeding, my dog needs walking. You know, all that kind of normal stuff. It's a really good equaliser. It's a good leveler. I don't know if, I mean, I know Sharon, you have that. So, again, and I know I'm jumping because that's how my mind works. So I tried to write a really clear narrative. I was on draft 7 of my narrative. And when I emailed you today, I went, oh, do you know what? I know what I want to say, which is that I have nothing to say. So yeah, so just going back to intense attachment. So intense attachment embodies everything that I've learned over the last 16 years, and that is, I guess I'm quite utopian in a sense in the way I want to work and the way I want to live my life. I won't make anything unless it ticks a couple of boxes for me. Has to be collaborative. So everybody brings something to the table. So when we started, so intense attachment, we've just finished phase 1, which is a tour. It's a piece which I'll show you. But prior to that was 3 years worth of research, and all of my work comes from a personal perspective. So mine slightly obviously came from having kids, because I never thought I would have kids. I'd never that wasn't in my plan. And if I'm honest, kids really interrupt being famous, which I'm not, clearly, but at that point I wanted to be. And they're not very good at helping you get rich either, kids. They don't have, they ripped me to pieces. It was good because it gave us lots of questions. So a little bit of context. With my first daughter, it was kind of ideal. Everything fell in place. It was great. There was no complications, nothing. It's all really normal until the delivery. And they went, don't panic. All right. It's the equivalent of going, I don't want to offend you, but don't panic, but the cord's wrapped around the neck, so we're going to do an emergency C-section. Right, so no, you have to stay here. So what? You stay there, we'll come and get you. So they took her off, did their thing, 1:37, and specifically, where is everybody? Finally come and got me, and they gave me this really, really beautiful little thing. And they left me for an hour on my own. Didn't tell me anything. So I'm going, right, hang on a minute. It's about 2:30 in the morning now. They've given me this baby girl. That's cool, that says. Where's my wife? If they're not telling me something, something's wrong. Right? You tell good news, your wife will be in a minute. They tell me anything. Shit. She's dead. I mean, what would they wouldn't tell me. So I'm literally an hour, and then they wheeled my wife in, off her face. absolutely off her face, which was good to see her. You know, thanks for letting me know, Donny Royal. Anyway, then I had the pleasure of giving my daughter it, which is great. My wife can't remember any of this, can't remember a thing, because she's well out of it. And then they said to me, the best bit, you need to go home now. Sorry, what? No, I'm the dad. So I'm the dad, right? Yeah, definitely the dad. No, we don't allow men on the ward. Alright, this is 4:30. What am I meant to do? It's not a problem. Get out. So I drove home. I remember sitting on the sofa, 8:30, got up, got a shower, pyjamas, went to the hospital, saw my daughter. And then the woman that does it came in, and this is genius, said to me, do you know how lucky you are? I'm like, yeah, she's beautiful. No, most babies don't survive in that situation. Amazing. You alright, Estelle? You doing well? Jesus. Three things. Thought my wife was dead less than 12 hours ago. Then you kicked me out of hospital, and now you're telling me that most babies don't survive. This is not the way you need to behave. But in terms of the pregnancy process, it was fine. Then we had our second daughter, and I really wasn't needed. Like, to the point where I don't know, maybe I was uber observant, I don't know. But like the doctor would talk to Estelle and they'd go, right then, and then they'd block me out. And I'd go, so I think we should do this. And they'd go, sorry a minute, so what do you want to do? So what do we want to do, Estelle? So Estelle go, I think and this wasn't one person, like throughout the whole process, even to the point where I got told to move out of the way while she was giving birth. Get out of the way, you're in the way. All right. You know, I thought we were doing this together. But this was a natural birth, so I got to right there and only see all that, which you can't unsee, by the way, fellas. Just saying that, you can't unsee it. So if, you know, think about it before you say yes to that end. And I kind of went, well, that's just the way it is then. Obviously, we were really lucky the first time. And I told a friend of mine, I went, oh, that happened to me, actually. And I thought, oh, weird. And I put something on Facebook, because that's what we do today. We're on Facebook. I got loads of these comments going, yeah, happened to me. Yeah, oh, was it Doncaster by any chance? I was like, yeah, whoa, what's going off? And I thought, well, there's something interesting. So it came from that idea. But I was very aware that that's my perspective. I still had a very different perspective and opinion of pregnancy. She did all the hard work, bless her. But I thought there's something in this, like maybe it's a traditional men thing, we don't talk about it, whatever. So I need to say something, and the only way I know how to say something is to make something. But I was very aware that I didn't want to go, right, this is the show. I've had this experience, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. So I got a team of people that I really wanted to work with together. I said, I've seen you dancing for years. I really want to work with you. Do you want to do this project with me? I've got some R&D money. It might not go anywhere. And we tested it, and we kind of took loads of things out as you do, and we got this idea. So then we got second R&D, some more money, and then we got the making, which is what we've just done. But as part of that process, I kind of felt like I'd come of age as an artist almost. Like I felt like I'd kind of stopped messing about. I'd stopped playing at it. I'd stopped considering it was my part-time career. I'd stopped thinking everybody's going to find me out at some point. I'd stopped thinking, oh, I'm not as good as that guy over there, or that choreographer, or that filmmaker's much better than me. I'd kind of, all that had gone, because I didn't have time to dwell in my own misery really, because I was too busy in nappies, changing those, or walking out the house and going, oh, you're joking. Oh, just going to Primark to buy a jumper because I've got a meeting. So I didn't have time to think about it. And then I think then my work started to have a voice beyond kind of, I guess a natural voice, as opposed to me feel like I was forcing it, or feel like I really need to say something here. Let the work speak for itself. So collaboration is what I learned. I think it's really important. I learned that I don't have all the answers, and I don't have to have all the answers. I've learned that I don't ever want to make work that doesn't have other art forms that are involved within it, like live music or theatre or film or digital technologies. I've learned that when you're under pressure, you can pretty much learn anything you need to learn. When your projection mapper doesn't turn up and the show's in 4 hours, you go, okay. Has everybody got the internet? Right, let's figure this out. And I've learned that it's all right to be in a state of panic, actually. And I've learned that my team are better than me. Like the people I work with, they're better than me, especially at dealing with it. So we did 16 shows of this tour, only 4 venues, so 4 in each venue. And we live streamed one of them, and we gave it away for free. So I've also learned that if you give things away, don't covet your ideas, essentially. If you give stuff away, you get more back. And I think that's I think it's really easy to do this with your work and hide it. And actually when we went, look, you can have it, we got it back 10 times in return. I do have notes actually, I should probably look at them. I've learned that it's okay to be vulnerable. And it's okay to not know, and it's okay to not have the answer, because actually our audiences are much more intelligent. And I have the opposite opinion to the guy that spoke with you, so I really care what my audience think. Actually, I really care what they think. But what I won't do is spoon feed them. So I never produce a program. I never go to shows about this. I go to shows about whatever you interpret it to be. So with this show, I gave the audience the freedom to walk around wherever they want to go. You go wherever you want to go. The performers will move. They'll get out the way. And if they don't, that might be interesting. And the performers started off hating this way of working, because as performers we need to know exactly where we're going to be and what the timing is. And if you're sat there, I know you're jumping there, and I know that's my cue for the musician to start singing, and then that's the cue for the technician to press play. I've learned that you need to just trust that the show will be alright. So part of this show was the audience triggered the technology within it. I say that was the ideology of the show. The audience triggered the technology. Out of 16 shows, not every piece of technology worked once. So there wasn't one show where every piece worked. By the final show, I learned that you can be too clever, or try to be too clever with technology. So we had like proximity sensors hidden things, we had touch sensors, so when an audience member went like this, it triggered something over there. When they walked over here, it triggered something over there, which then triggered a dancer. I've learned that that's all really good if you're in one environment. When you start changing environments and start changing temperatures, technology goes, not today. It's not 16 degrees. It's not working. So you go, shit. Right. Guys, dance over there. I've learned that you can do that without nobody knowing. So, and I've learned that actually sometimes the simplest way is the obvious way, actually. So if you make the work and it's strong, and technically it's strong, and visually it's strong, and it has a narrative, the audience will get what they get, and they'll figure it out. And we don't have to go... I spent the first 4 shows shepherding people. You might want to go over there. Oh, up behind you. Yeah, follow the female. And one of my performers went, will you stop talking? They're alright. And if they miss it, they miss it. So, yeah, and then the final thing I learned with that is I'm a bit of a control freak. And I didn't realise it until you don't have the control. So I spent the first 15 out of 16 shows in a constant state of panic throughout the whole of them, going, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? You! Projector's not come on. The projector's not working. Can't walk across the stage in the middle of the show. What do we do? What do we do? We don't do anything. We're the only ones that know it doesn't work. And the performers that I've got, I mean, I only work with mature performers because actually I'm less interested in technique. The older I get, the less I can do it. I'm less interested in it, but I'm more interested in life stories, how people kind of bring their stuff with them. So the show, so it's one of another show where we're part of the show. Okay. Then we went to Harrogate. No, Halifax. No, Harrogate. What's up the A1? Harrogate.
Harrogate.
Yes. I should get that right. Where the audience are the opposite of Slungwell, and they would. Sorry, we have to move. We follow them. This is all very unusual. We went to Bradford, where Bradford's its own thing. Theatre in the Mill is its own thing. Where they go, yeah, we do this all the time, but they don't quite understand it. So you don't want the theatre space? No, we want the bar. Well, you can't win the bar 'cause that's where people drink. That's kind of the point, really, because we drink in the show. We have to talk to security about that. Why? So we've got smoke in the show. Okay, cool. Halfway through the show. What's that? It's a smoke alarm. But I told you we got smoke in the show. Yeah? Did you turn the smoke alarm off? No. Well, can you turn it off? No, everybody's got to leave. But now, yeah. This is the show we've got our reviewers in, by the way. Oh, okay. Good. Get out. And then we went to Doncaster, where they went, do what you want. Do whatever you want. Can't do that. Alright, well, can we have that? You can't have that space. Alright, what about that? And that's booked. Alright. What about sex space? Oh no, we've got the Merchant of Venice on. Right, same time as us. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll be in that space. Oh no, we've got Rocky Horror Sing Along. Alright. Where are we going to go? Oh, right, didn't think of that. What have you got? What have you got left? We've got the drama studio. We'll have it. We'll have that. So it was interesting, really, in that respect. So, I'm going to shut up, though, because I am boring myself now, really. But I wanted to show you just snippets from each venue. What's going on there, Matt?
What do you want? What's looking different to what usually looks like?
Oh, I don't have that.
Oh yeah, well that's to do with
Resolution.
the size of the image and where it's
Okay.
so what I'll do is over there.
Technology. No, that's fine. No, that is fine. It's moving the projector, isn't it?
On the screen.
On the screen.
The screen's better idea.
Do you know when you get that point, you go, I work in technology. What's going on there?
You have to physically move a thing.
Straight on the bottom and then not at the top.
So I
Is
don't.
that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. So I don't need to code anything.
No.
No coding involved, man.
No
Yeah.
coding.
Just move it.
Just
Yeah.
moving physical,
Whoa.
analog things.
I spent 10 years
There's a
working in.
switch for the light as well.
You twisted my melon. So they're all, as you can see, they're not long at all. So
Do you want sound?
we can play it off here. I mean, it should be loud enough. So this one's Harrogate, and I want you to see the different spaces. So that was Harrogate. I'll show you one more because I want to just explain, to finish off, just to explain why we did it this way. And then this, Harrogate was the second one of the run, and this was the last one of the run, but they're the two most opposing spaces. So with that, there are a couple of different models we're using. So the show's made modular, so it's made in sections. So we have the living room section and we have the kitchen section, what we call it, and then we space them in the venues. We have two musicians, and they mirror the performance. So it's a male-female performance, a male-female musician. So they wrote all the music specifically for the show, but they don't follow the tour. So some venues we have both of them, some shows it's pre-recorded, some shows we just have the female and the male pre-recorded, and some shows we just have the male and the female pre-recorded. So although the show stays the same, the narrative changes, so it's either their story, her story, or his story, and that's mirrored in the musicians, and that's something we found out by accident. So when we were devising the model, I just couldn't get my schedules together because they have other jobs. So you can't do Harrogate. Oh shit. You can do Harrogate. Oh, okay, well that's what we do. The availability dictates we can't do it all. And actually what we found is this really interesting 3 shows in 1 kind of scenario. And then when we go into each venue, we just make it in that venue. So some venues like Harrogate had 3 spaces. Cast had 1 and a side entrance. Slumlow had 4 spaces. When we originally made it, we made it in a house, so it had 8 spaces. So it's designed to be adaptable, and the show doesn't finish. So they leave before the audience leave, and they don't come back. So the audience are going, and the music plays for a bit, and then the musicians leave, and they don't come back, and the audience just kind of go. And actually, some stay in the space for 20 minutes and just sit and just kind of go, okay, I just want to be in this space. Some leave and just stand around. So we got rid of that, which was actually the most controversial thing we did. want to say that, I want to give them a clap. I'll be in the bar. And yeah, so I really feel like we created a space for reflection as well, where we have the narrative, but it's not a narrative that you two don't get the same thing from it. You come out and you kind of, so we create lots of interesting discussion points, and I should say I designed it for 10 people. The show's designed for 10 people, and which is a really hard sell to these guys over here. I need 30 grand. I want to make a show for 10 people. But, where's the value for money on that? Well, we're going to live stream one of every 4 shows. Right, so what's your ticket projections? Oh, we're not going to charge, we're giving it away. Right, well, what are you charging for the tickets? Well, just pay what you want. We're not charging for tickets, people can pay what they want. Because I mean, that's part personal. I mean, my dad was a miner. I grew up in the 80s, you know, couldn't afford to go see stuff, couldn't afford eat or go to see the ballet. So I don't think money should be a barrier. Genuinely don't think money should be a barrier. Which is one of the reasons why we live stream. But then again, I don't think the internet should be a barrier, which is why we say, look, if you can't afford to go see a show, I don't care, come anyway. Like, we just have an honesty box in the corner. I don't care if you put anything in it at all. What I care about is you don't feel like you can't engage with a show. And so all these are quite difficult sells sometimes when you have one of them to say the Arts Council. I want for different things to people. But how can you teach kids and then go teach adults with substance misuse? They don't connect. But they do, because it's art, actually. It's theatre, it's film, it's moving. Actually, the group, it's about engaging people, it's about working with people. Do you know, not in it, I mean, it doesn't make a difference if they're kids or if they're adults, really. It's about engaging and connecting with somebody on a personal level. And that's what I'm really motivated by. And I think, actually, I'm a product of that art can be for everyone. I mean, I have a career in the arts because I was pissing down with rain one day and I went into the youth centre and there was a dance session on. True story. I'm going to stand outside in the rain, I'll do that. Give me a free hot dog. I'll do that. Hey, this is alright. This is not that bad. Do a bit more of that. Want to be a stuntman. Do some dancing. Do some jumping around. What, you'll pay me to travel around the world? Yeah, I'm in. So, you know, I think that it's about being open to opportunities and possibilities, but I also think it is about doing everything and lots of things. Because before you know what you want to do, you have to know what you don't want to do, really. So for me, that piece sums up 16 years worth of feeling like I'm faking it. And I'm sure in 6 months' time I'll go, I ain't got a clue what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. But I've got 16 years worth of blagging to figure it out. And that was quite pivotal. So it's about that. That's what it's about. And the next piece goes in December. And the next piece will be an outdoor thing for thousands of people. And they'll all engage through smart devices. Yeah. So I didn't realise it was that time. I thought it was about half an hour I've been doing that. Really.
Yeah, I can't talk for an hour, he says in the beginning. I've got nothing to say, you talk for an hour. You can talk about 3 hours.
I know, but about nothing. So I am going to shut up. And thank you for being gracious and not booing and not throwing stuff at me and allowing me to be involved.
Oh, thank you very much.
So thank you.
Cool.
What do you mean it's an hour, Matt? I've only got 15 minutes planned. That's what I said to him earlier. I've only planned 15 minutes.